Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the October 10th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Carla Babb, and I'll tell you about a teacher shortage you might not be aware of.
I'm Erin Franklin. Coming up, I'll tell you about a controversial tradition that's been going on for centuries. In sports, after their stellar performances on Saturday, 2 football players won more than just a game.
Weathercaster Johnny O will tell us if fall is finally on the way.
All that and a story that gets right to the point. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Sarah Huffman.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. UNC students and system administrators often fight about funding priorities, but we found one shortage both groups agree needs immediate attention. Our Carla Babb is live in the newsroom with more, and Carla, this is a pretty big shortage, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Adam. Many of us struggle with learning a foreign language, but these skills can be very useful, especially when it comes to one particular language.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. I think I was born to be a teacher.
Meet Nasser Isleem. He's an Arabic language professor here at UNC, and at Meredith, and at Duke.
At UNC, I go 3 times a week. I teach 4 classes. And at Duke, I teach twice. At Meredith, I do the same thing. I teach Mondays and Wednesdays.
And he's not the only one with a hectic teaching schedule. North Carolina General Administration Representative Alan Mabe oversees the 16 colleges and universities in the UNC system. He says Arabic teachers are in high demand.
The CIA and the National Security Agency have been seeking to have more people employed who speak Arabic, Homeland Security likewise. So all of those agencies together have added up to quite a need for people who speak Arabic.
And the demand is growing. Less than half of the UNC system schools have Arabic language classes, and most of those programs have only one teacher overseeing as many as 125 students. Although Isleem teaches large classes, he makes it worthwhile through outside activities that showcase Arabic culture. From coffee hours in Durham to iftar rituals at Isleem's house in Raleigh.
I think Arabic is great with Professor Nasser Isleem because he doesn't just teach us the language, he also teaches us about the culture.
The culture side will add a lot to the knowledge of students, like spices to the food.
Mabe says UNC wants to bring in more teachers, but the resources aren't available.
Finding faculty is probably the toughest job for some of the campuses, and they have to depend on people who may be doing other things but happen to be fluent in Arabic to provide that instruction.
With all the complexities of the Arabic language, Isleem says it takes a while to train competent Arabic teachers. Isleem told me it might take about 700 hours to learn a language like French, but to be fluent in Arabic, it might take 2,000 or 3,000 hours.
So Carla, what's the solution?
Well, for now, at least UNC and NC State are adding teachers in the fall. But for the rest of schools with Arabic programs, they have to rely on teaching assistants to help with all the students wanting to learn Arabic.
Tough situation. Carla Babb live in the newsroom. Thank you. Many Muslim students are looking forward to a special celebration this Saturday. Eid al-Fitr, or celebration of the breaking of the fast, marks the end of Ramadan. After fasting during daylight hours for a month, Muslim students come together for a large prayer meeting. Then they spend the rest of the day eating and visiting with family and friends. Even though the holiday technically lasts 3 days, the Muslim Student Association's Omar Awan says most students just celebrate on the first day.
I mean, to me it makes perfect sense. You've gone a whole month without food and water. You really worked hard. It's nice to have like a celebration.
Awan plans to return home for the holiday to visit his family in Raleigh.
The Middle East is rich with tradition, but one long-standing practice has some looking for change. Erin Franklin is in the Park Library with that story.
Sarah, some girls have no say about who they'll marry and wind up with husbands they know little about. Sometimes these arranged marriages work, and other times they're a disaster. The first time Shanaz Brumand met her husband was the day she found out they were getting married. Bruman says her mother had arranged the marriage in a grocery store.
I don't even know the person. I have no idea. Some people are deciding for me what to do, but I know it's time for me to get ready to get married.
Arranged marriages are very common in Bruman's country, Iran, and across the Middle East. Asian Studies professor Sahar Amr says not all people in the Middle East have arranged marriages.
It depends on socioeconomic status, it depends on level of education, and also it depends on level of religious practice.
But Bruman says it's much simpler than that.
It's a men's world over there. It's not a women's world. Women don't have no say-so.
Amr says the relationship between men and women is based more on necessity than emotion.
We don't have the idea of this romantic love in general coming out of this arranged marriage, but it was a relationship that worked.
But it's hard to tell if a relationship is going to work out or not.
But I think that there are some arranged marriages, depending on the people who are involved, for whom it seems to work.
It's like a box of chocolate. The movie Forrest Gump says a box of chocolate. It is like that. It's pretty much gamble.
Bruman eventually got out of that marriage and has been with husband number 2 for 23 happy years.
This time I really dated, went out and found my own husband. It's totally different. I love it. I love it.
Sarah, even some girls in the U.S. find themselves in this situation when their parents want to follow the customs of the past.
Erin Franklin reporting from the Park Library. Thank you, Erin.
After the April shootings at Virginia Tech, UNC officials decided to implement an emergency text messaging plan. Unfortunately, it's not been well received. The plan allows students and faculty to put their names on a list to receive text messages if an emergency like the one in Blacksburg occurs. But only 1,000 people have signed up. That's about 3% of Carolina's campus population. Many students we spoke with say they haven't heard of the program. The university is looking for new ways to publicize it.
Medical researchers at Duke say women and minorities are less likely than white men to get the therapy they need after a heart attack. The Journal of the American Medical Association reports that 25% of black men and 50% of all women were less likely than Caucasian males to receive the implantable cardioverter defibrillator. The device helps maintain heart rhythm. The authors couldn't explain the differences, but note that white men are usually the first to benefit from new medical technology.
UNC is celebrating diversity this week. Monday marked the beginning of Race Relations Week. Organizers hope students will interact with people of different ethnicities and religions. Cubes are set up outside of the campus Y and in the pit to publicize each day's events. As part of Race Relations Week, Orange County Superior Court Judge Carl Fox will speak tonight at 7 in the Haynes Arts Center. And Rams Head Dining Hall is holding a Mix It Up dinner Thursday night at 5:30. For a full list of events, visit our website, carolinaweek.org. To help promote Race Relations Week, Interactive Theater Carolina put on its first show Monday night. The skit was themed around different race stereotypes. The show is a unique experience because the audience gets to participate in the drama on stage. Viewers are able to ask characters questions in order to gain insight into the way they reacted during certain situations. Chapel Hill is known for its vibrant arts community.
You're right, but after the break, I'll show you why you'll find theater groups in some unusual spaces this year.